In today's video, we're going to be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly of my last 6 months of experience becoming a Pokemon vendor and also doing YouTube part-time, along with all of this really being full-time for me. In the past 6-ish months, I have made around 40K, a little bit over 40K in sales across the website, across card shows, and also Instagram deals. And so we're just gonna start right off with the good, which is September 2024. I'm recording this April of 2025. I did my first ever card show. I vended at my first ever card show, and I had just previously been to my first card show as a buyer. And I thought to myself, why can't I do this? It seemed like a really fun experience, getting to talk to people about something that you love and also make a little bit of money while doing it. And so I vended at the Missoula Card Show, which is about 2 hours south of me. And I ended up doing that. It was just a one-day card show, a relatively local show, you know, nothing too crazy. I think that there was approximately 80 tables or something. And this was before like the boom right now. So it was pretty, you know, chillaxed, mild. You get a lot of people browsing, and that was a pretty small show. And we didn't do fantastic. We actually lost money in that show, but I learned a lot from that show. It taught me a lot of valuable lessons. And so I took that and I went straight to my next show, which I went in November. And so since then, this has been my 6th show just this past weekend. And that has been absolutely amazing. We've really improved the inventory, and we've also been able to make more money. And I feel like just have more of an appealing display as well. You know, you can always improve something at the card shows. And so that has been amazing. That has been awesome. So in total, I'll kind of show the divide here. So we made 16K on the website, 3,000 in Instagram deals, and 22,000 at card shows in sales. And so just keep that in mind. That is sales. That's not actually profit after everything's said and done. And another fantastic part about doing all these card shows, being able to have the YouTube channel as a platform to advertise to people and let them know that I am buying, I have been able to increase my inventory significantly. I estimate that since September to where we're at now, we went from about 10,000 in inventory just between my personal sealed product, my slabs, and my raw cards around that September time, because I was starting to grow my collection with the idea in mind that I might vend. And I went from 10K to about 30K now in inventory. And this is really, this is just my inventory. This isn't including my personal collection. There is, you know, things that I change my mind on pretty constantly when it comes to my PC. So there's a good chance that I could have like an extra 5,000 from my personal collection that goes into, you know, a table at a card show or on the website. So that's kind of a rough guesstimate being 30K. But either way, that's a massive increase from 10K to 30K. And also the quality has significantly increased as well. I mean, obviously, you know, the value means better quality, but not in every case. I mean, you have TCG player sellers who just have a ton of $1 to $2 cards that they're selling. And for me, I feel like I've been able to consolidate a lot, and instead of having just dozens of, you know, $1 to $5 cards, I have a lot of cards that are more than $20. I would say that on average, the card that I have is around $40, just because I have so many. You know, obviously not including the binder stuff, but I'm really talking about like what I'm putting in the display cases. On average, it's about $40, I would say. So that covers the good. And kind of one extra thing for the good as a bonus is just being able to do this. I mean, I feel like it kind of it goes without saying almost that this is an amazing thing to do and that I'm extremely privileged to do this. But I did want to say that because I am very appreciative for you guys on the channel, as well as everyone that I've met at the card shows, coming up to me, making a deal, trading things, buying things, selling things. I really wouldn't be able to do this without the amazing community that exists for this hobby. Next, the bad, which is number one. I would say that between the first few months, I did have really poor inventory, and that definitely hurt sales. And I feel like that was kind of like the biggest reality check that I needed to realize, that like you just need to make sure that you are being more picky. So that's something that I have learned. There was a lot of instances where I made poor purchases. Whether it was someone coming up to the table wanting to pawn off a CGC Pristine 10 that was a very low pop, and I thought, hey, that's pretty cool, that's unique. But the problem with unique products is it also means you're gonna need a unique buyer for that card. And there's just some things that I either held on to way too long or I still have, and it just kind of, you know, it makes me think that I probably would have rather bought a dozen other cards that at the time were worth $20 or $30 and now have actually gone up in value, versus cards that I have that are kind of just stagnant in price just because they're so rare, which that is definitely a learning lesson, and you know, kind of a bad choice on my part to be having purchased those cards. Another bad thing is made many mistakes. I mean, this is also something that I've covered a lot on the channel, is I have made dozens of mistakes, and I feel like I've heard this so much, but if you're afraid to make mistakes, if you're afraid to do something because you're gonna make a mistake or you think you're gonna fail, I think that is really just, that is such a crutch, you know, that's such a faulty line of thinking, I think, because really mistakes are what make you better at your craft. It's what makes you able to stand the test of time, whether the market is going really well or whether the market has slowed down. And I really do think that because of the mistakes I've made, it's going to help me even when Pokemon is going down in price, or even if it's going up in price and there's a lot of people talking about it. So I made a lot of mistakes. That was bad, but kind of it's a good thing because I'm able to learn from those mistakes. And finally, our last point, which is the ugly. And this one is pretty simple, pretty short, which is just not taking care of me and like myself, my family, and just not really putting enough time into that. You know, I've recently been getting back into going to the gym at least a few times a week, trying to be more consistent with that, as well as trying to eat healthier. And I know that this is a Pokemon channel and it's not at all you know, health channel or any of that stuff, but I do feel like that this is something that kind of like in general YouTubers or even people in the Pokemon community, it's easy to cut back and put more time into other things versus taking care of yourself. And you need to take care of yourself. I mean, you can't sustain this without mentally and physically taking care of yourself. And so that's just something that I got caught up so much in like the YouTube and going to card shows and everything that, you know, I slacked and I put on some weight. I lost a lot of muscle that I felt like I had a couple years ago. And yeah, I really want to pick up back doing that. And I'd really like to hear like your guys's, you know, strategies for like fitness and going to the gym. Like I really want to get into like learning more workout routines at home as well, because I can't always make it to the gym. And sometimes it's just crazy busy there. But yeah, that is the ugly. I feel like it's kind of just how much I've taken care of myself and how much I've slacked on that. So that is the good, the bad, and the ugly with me. It's been an absolutely phenomenal 6.5 months since I did my first card show, and it's only gonna get better, guys. I'm super excited for the future of the channel. I appreciate all of you. Kept it brief, hopefully. Professional yapper here. Anyways, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.